The 10th East African Health and Scientific Conference commences in Juba. South Sudanese women leaders advocate for gender equality and laws to protect women. And government inaugurates Kuda Health Center to improve medical services. Good evening. It is 25th of June 2025 and welcome you to SSBC 8 p.m. News. I am Akuchi Maker. And now as the 10th East African Health and Scientific Conference kicks off in Juba, for the first time, health professionals are strengthening scientific collaboration aimed at improving medical services within the regional bloc. SSBC Ayunrim reports.
The 3 days regional event has formally kicked off in capital Juba, bringing together participants from the East African member states. The conference focuses on the strengthening scientific collaboration and fostering knowledge exchange to improve health outcomes in the region. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Vice President and Chairperson of Service Delivery Cluster, Josephine Joseph Lago, emphasized the vital role of regional scientific cooperation in achieving sustainable development and improving health outcomes in the region.
It is a moment of great honor and opportunity for us to contribute, to connect, and to showcase our commitment to regional cooperation. Your presence here is a strong symbol of unity, shared knowledge, and our collective ambition to build a healthier, more resilient, and I dare to say, more productive East Africa.
Vice President expresses government commitment to reshape the regional health sector for the benefit of the ordinary citizen.
Our commitment extends to the African Union Agenda 2063 and a shared dream of the Africa we want. As a proud partner, South Sudan champions regional integration through shared infrastructure, harmonized standards, and the free movement of goods and services in the health sector.
The National Minister of Health, Sarah Kletorial, has underscored the numerous challenges ravaging the region. She emphasized the need to prioritize investment in public health infrastructure, disease surveillance, and capacity building.
Our region has suffered from and is experiencing pressing health issues such as infectious diseases, including viral hemorrhagic fevers like Rift Valley fever, maternal and child health, non-communicable diseases, and the impact of climate change on health. This wide range of health issues and challenging epidemiology need a holistic approach that goes beyond the health sector.
The Minister for East African Community, Arid and Semi-Arid Land and Regional Development, Beatrice Akul Moy, commended South Sudan for remarkable leadership and hospitality. She highlighted the importance of regional solidarity and cross-border health initiative in addressing emerging health threats.
As we gather here as scientists, as scholars, as researchers, and other interested stakeholders, our positive role towards strengthening East Africa integration for the benefit of our citizens cannot be gainsaid.
Innovative financing mechanisms through public-private partnership should be encouraged and incentivized to secure additional funding for health coverage and social protection.
On behalf of the government, I would like to thank the East African community for selecting South Sudan to have this 10th East African Health Conference.
There is scientific research and improve access to quality health service across the East African region. Reporting for SSBC News.
The interim chairperson of the reconstituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, George Agre Owino, and Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng discussed matters relating to peace implementation. Speaking to the media, Owino affirms that he would consult with peace grantors on the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement.
As the chair of RJMEC, we have to engage with all the leadership in matters that affect the agreement and implementation of the agreement. And out of those consultations, we normally find value in what we are doing. At the same time, we also use that opportunity to give our perspective on what we think the agreement is going, where we think something else needs to be done or done in a better way.
Amid rising cases of gender-based violence, key South Sudanese women leaders have converged in Juba to advocate for equal political representation and the enactment of gender-based violence and family laws to protect women. We have the report.
In a renewed push for gender, social, political, and economic inclusion, South Sudanese women leaders have united under one umbrella conference supported by the Office of the First Lady, Mary Ayan Mayadit, to discuss challenges impeding their progress and to generate practical solutions. Participants are focusing on developing long-term action plans to promote protection of women from harm and increase access to employment and educational opportunities. Speaking at the opening of the conference, the Speaker of the Parliament, Jema Nunukumba, stated that the enactment of the gender-based violence and family law will address issues such as unemployment and educational discrimination against women, before suggesting that gender equality provision must be included in the ongoing national constitutional making process.
We all want all the laws that are sensitive to gender issues, such as the Gender Equality Act, including anti-gender-based violence laws, to be enacted and passed to protect the women, including family laws. These laws are still at the initial stages, and we in Parliament are waiting, and we are urging the Minister of Gender, the Minister of, and of course the Cabinet to pass these laws to us in Parliament so that we can enact them.
For his part, Kwal Munyang Juk, Senior Presidential Advisor, acknowledged the critical role women play in society, especially in raising and protecting the younger generation that must not go unappreciated.
During the War of Liberation, women were the bedrock on which we built our resolve to continue fighting, assured that the rear guard was in good hands. Women raised our families while we were in the trenches and in the front line.
The African Union envoy to South Sudan, Jerome Biswaro, encouraged women participation in preparation for the forthcoming national elections.
That you can show the way. As you may live here after so many hours and take it to the grassroots. At this, the crucial point of the implementation of RACS 2018 will make significant impact.
The Deputy Special Representative of the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, Anita Kiki, commended the government for implementing affirmative action for women, stressing that it should also reach the grassroots levels.
Women continue to be underrepresented in political leadership, security institutions, and peace mechanisms. We must move from commitments to concrete action. Colleagues, there is some good news. In the first half of 2025, women hold 2 out of the 5 vice presidential position roles.
Ambassador George Agri Owino, interim chairperson of the RJMEC, acknowledged the significant role played by women in implementation of the 2018 peace agreement.
In doing so, let us demand that women's voices are heard and heeded in every decision, in dialogue and implementation of the revitalized agreement. The urgency of women's leadership is essential in building trust, advancing reconciliation, and ensuring that the peace that South Sudan seeks is genuine and lasting.
Representing the First Lady, Mary Nyaulang, chairperson of the Board of Directors for Concern for Women, called on the leaders and political actors to ensure the meaningful inclusion of women in decision-making process, not just appointments.
Peace is not signed only in agreements. It is built daily in homes, communities, and institutions. Women bring the strength of reconciliation, the power of empathy, and the determination to heal.
The conference is expected to strengthen the role of women leaders in supporting peaceful conclusion to the transitional period. Participants emphasized that affirmative action for women should not be seen as a favor, but as a fundamental right for all the South Sudanese women. Reporting for SSBC, I am
The judiciary of South Sudan formally launched its 2025 to 2029 strategic plans under the theme towards an independent judiciary that deliver justice for all. SSBC's John Taban Wani has the details.
Political interference, delay in administrating justice, and lack of access to justice in rural areas remains serious challenges to effective and efficient performance of the judiciary. The administration of judiciary has, however, launched the strategic plan 2025-2029 to strengthen the independence of the judiciary and introduce comprehensive reforms of the system to provide efficient and accountable and timely justice to all people in South Sudan. The Chief Justice of Judiciary of South Sudan, Dr. Benjamin Bakdeng, asked the judges to play a leading role in undertaking reform of the judicial system in the country.
Which we have today will enable us to prioritize making the legal system more accessible to all citizens, regardless of their socio-economic backgrounds, location, or gender. This includes increasing availability of courts through enhancing judiciary infrastructure. You will find it in Goal 6 of the strategic plan.
The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Dr. Wekmamer, says the strategic plan has a big role in building credible justice.
The strategic plan we are launching today is more than a document. It is a roadmap towards building a judicial system that is accessible, credible, professional, and aligned with our constitutional mandate and national values of our society.
Central Equatoria State Governor Representative and State Legal Advisor Nafatali Hassan says judicial system guides good governance, democracy, and the rule of law.
The principle of an effectual and operational judiciary are made sacrosanct to an effective system of justice. This occupies a central role in the administration of justice that through this plan we are seeking to achieve. Therefore, it demands that the members of judiciary respect and honor their functions as a public trust, and so the government, since it is created as a means of protecting and promoting public interest.
Independence of the judiciary and access to justice are considered pillars of national unity. John Tabanwani, SSBC.
And now SSBC 8 p.m. News is taking its first short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back from that short break. Now to proceed with our news bulletin tonight. The leadership of the Ministry of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism commemorated the first anniversary of the Great Nile Migration. The commemoration comes amidst challenges facing the ministries in protecting wildlife species. SSBC's Martin Justin reports.
25th June 2025 marks the first anniversary since President Kiir inaugurates the census result of the seasonal mammal migration, which is known as Great Nile Migration, which project targets Buma and Badingilo National Parks in addition to jungle landscape. Wildlife Minister Reza Zakaria Hassan says the ministry is moving steadily to the forefront of the national economy.
After 1 year, me as a minister, I have the honor of declaring to the public that our migratory species are quite healthy, and we are still pursuing that same reflections of last year. And I'm quite sure, and I believe on that, sooner or later, will be the leading sector when it comes for the economical vibrance of the country.
It refers to the partnership agreement with the African Parks Network as very important, saying his administration sees the necessity to address some of the articles to meet the challenges ahead.
Our partnership with African Parks so far is appreciable, even though there will be some observations that need to be married along the course of this partnership, but I think they should be considered as the right partnership for us at the moment. Challenges would be many when it comes for the future perspectives of the migratory species. Challenges would be in terms of the massive arms in the hands of the population, especially in the hot spots.
The Director General of the Wildlife Conservation Forces, General Hamis Dieng Ding, says technical, logistical and poaching challenges signal the imperative to empower the wildlife forces.
The priority of the Ministry of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism is protection, actually. Because the challenge that we are facing is the poaching, which is not the priority of the African parks. So we are ironing our differences from time to time.
The Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism impresses upon the national security agencies and other parties to work jointly in protecting humans and the environment.
I would like to express my humble request to my colleagues of the different institutions. Our humble request for them that let us collaborate, joining our hands, so that we encounter and combat this random poaching that is happening now. Because once we stabilize the migratory environment, I'm quite sure South Sudan will be enjoying the dividends of having those resources.
Joint security protection will lend way to the President's announcement of the result of the General Survey of Seasonal Wildlife Migration, placing South Sudan at the forefront of the countries with 6 million wild animals. Despite the challenges facing wildlife in South Sudan, the Ministry of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism continue urging all parties, including citizens, various security agencies, civil societies, government institutions at various levels, and even diplomatic corps to continue supporting their efforts to protect wildlife and encourage national tourism. Martin Justin Paul Kose, SSBC, Juba.
Thank you, Martin, for that report. Now, Governor Simon Obeir Maut has conveyed President Kiir's greetings to the people of Northern Bahr Ghazal State, particularly the SPLM members. Speaking at the SPLM Secretariat in Awil, Governor updated party members on his visit to Juba, where he met with the country's leadership and Awil community, focusing on key issues concerning the state. The state SPLM Secretary, Kerbino Thieptong, briefed media after the meeting.
التي تتم في يوم القادم، ونحن في أيام دي كمان نطلع نعيد النظر في الإثبات بتاع الفعل في كل مكان. نحن سعيدين جدا جدا مع تشاهدين إنه جماهير دفاع الحركة الشعبية في ولاية شمال بحر وبدال بينهم.
Johnson Kwal Gai formally assumed his role as Commissioner of Fagak County and SPLM chairperson in a ceremony at the Jonglei State Coordination Office in Juba on Wednesday. Addressing the ceremony, Governor Dr. Riek Gai Cook directed the new commissioner to work for peace, security, and effective services delivery in the county. A member of the National Legislative Assembly, James Cook, urges the new commissioner to treat every citizen equally and promote unity among the communities. For his part, Fagak Commissioner Johnson Kwal Gai outlines top priorities including peace, infrastructural development, expressing commitment to working with elders and other political groups to resolve conflict and facilitate the return of displaced communities home.
We need to fix things. We need to reach out the Girana, the Kang. Shakil should not spill over the China. The same also was Nazbata Unity. Call is not new. Call who are better struggle for SPLM, struggle for relief, the humanitarian. Call is struggle for governor. Yes. But good Paul, it is good. You know, to get it. Learn what into Kasarlu, it is you to fix it.
Johnson, you have been given an abundant trust by your government, by your party, and by the President of this Republic through Dr. Riek. The choice for Dr. Riek to go to Jonglei is to reverse the situation, and especially with us, the Nuer community. We have to be very clear on this, and we all stand. The Murma Dar Salam, my specialization is peace. The color of peace is white. I want you, Johnson, to go with white hat.
As I'm going home, and as I wear in today, as the chairperson of the SPLM Fagak County, the next time I will visit you, I'll tell you Fagak folk. I'll tell you Fagak up. Our people have been deceived, have been misled for the last 5 years. Though there has been a war, or there is a continuing war, I and my elders, through your support.
And now we're going for another break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Upper Nile State Deputy Governor Deng Joangok emphasizes the importance of reactivating farmers' cooperatives to increase production. Deputy Governor was addressing public awareness campaign on advancement of cooperative sectors, organized with support from the National Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. The State Minister of Cooperatives and Rural Development, David Aki, explains the benefits of cooperatives in increasing production and food sufficiency.
على النيل منطقة زراعية. ولما نقول منطقة زراعية نتكلم عن إنسان على النيل المثقف زراعيا. التأمين للأمن الغذائي المسؤول عن على النيل. زائد على ذلك عندنا إنسان مثقف زراعيا ضروري إنه يكون باهتمام على النيل. فنحن بنطالب إنه يكون في دعم لا محدود في ولاية عشان تقدر تقوم بما يأمن المواطن على المستوى السودان. نتمنى إنه البروجكت بتتوسع سنة الوزير إنه السنة الجاية تشمل كل مقاطعات على النيل. نحن في على النيل مقاطعاتنا كلها مقاطعات زراعية.
طبعا اليوم للتدشين بروجكت بتاع ريد. طبعا البروجكت المنطقة اللي هيحصل فيه البروجكت ده الرنج مقاطع الرنج، والهدف كله انه لازم المزارعين الناس المزارعين بيتنظموا في شكل تعاونيات هم المستهدفين. فالبروجكت ده هيشيل 5 سنة، بروجكت كبير طبعا، والحكومة بتاع الولاية عبر وزارة تعاونيات التنمية الريفية هيراقب البروجكت ده لحد ما.
A beacon of hope has emerged in Kuda, Juba County, Central Equatorial State, where a newly renovated primary health care center formally opened on Wednesday. For the Kuda community, this facility represents far more than just a building, but a crucial step in delivery of essential medical services. Stewart Abugo has the details.
Central Equatorial State government is striving to restore public health services across the state. The inauguration of the renovated Kuda Primary Health Care Center marks a step forward in taking health services to the people. The jubilant people of this area in Dolopayam of Juba County view the facility not just a mere building, but a lifeline.
Ganun ta'alam kullu giwori gali iya hajata mustasfa kede makarabo kede manyakamu iya zol kede silu musulia kas ka ferdi atan kede na hami mustasfa de mahajata fi mustasfa de kullu kede ma fi zol silu hajata mustasfa algisa do nas kullu le nafsa to baraw wa nas algisa kal fi mustasfa kullu kede ma dugu kede ma turuju kede ma amululo mon hajat batan naze kede taramumon عشان أنا باكد رامل خدماتني مستشفى ده عليلا بيعالجو أساكر بيعالجو مواطنين بيعالجو إيال سكرين بيعالجو أمهات وأمهات كمان الدير ولدو من بولدو إني.
The State Minister of Health, Nejwa Mursal, stresses the ministry's obligation to expand health services to all parts of the state.
في policy تاعنا نقودو موضوع ambulances ده نديرين كل primary health care center all over Central Equatorial State زي ده وزي في محلات تانيين بيكون في ambulance واقف برا إني ده حاجة للنازو في وزارة ذاته في organogram تاعنا في ambulance control department.
Juba County Commissioner Emmanuel Tetesbon calls upon the people in Kuda Boma to coexist peacefully among themselves and with neighboring communities.
There is alabutai ta Juba County inno lazim tutogudu kwes majaranat wa yakun fi amni wa kuata nizamia almawjudin kede ta kuna make sure inno abgar kede marwa fi mazara tanas ashan naqder na haribu jan de nagi haribu do ayam bes lakin ma bi haribu jan.
In our collaborative efforts, while we are advancing primary health care in South Sudan, preventing disease, and most importantly, advancing equitable primary health care to the communities that desire it the most.
This new center at Kuda represents a beacon of inclusive health care, extending vital services to all and reinforcing South Sudan on journey towards unity after decades of fragmentation. For SSBC News, Stewart Abugola Suba reporting.
Central Equatorial State legislators convened to attend capacity building program on budget preparations. The program, organized by the National Legislature's Standing Specialized Committee on Finance and Planning in partnership with the United Nations Development Program, UNPD, aims to strengthening state legislators' capacity in public financial management. Addressing the opening, the National Parliament's head of delegation, Ding Lam, says the training would help lawmakers in budget preparation. Central Equatorial State Legislative Assembly Speaker Peter Wani Ilia and Chairperson of the Committee on Finance and Economy, Jacob Ladu, spoke to the media.
We are coming here to actually compare notes, because we are happy to be with Central Equatoria State Legislative Assembly, who have also been doing their own homework, doing their own budget, so we can only compare notes and see how, if there's anything that you are doing. There are specific books, and one of the most important books is the finance bill. And this is a book that usually outline all kind of tax that are collected in South Sudan. And there are also state tax. And it should not have created any, because the law is also very clear, and if there is ambiguity in the law, it needs to be amended.
We will be equipped with the budget formulation, budget process, budget execution. Central Equatorial State has a history of performing budgets, passing budget in the parliament. A very important thing is that the workshop has taken place, it will be taking place from now on, which has been prepared 2 months back.
I believe that this important workshop will put some highlights and guidance to these points I mentioned, because we pass budgets but are not materialized when it comes to implementation. And so it became so difficult. I can even recall when we received our the parliament ceiling for this year, having compared the last year, we only in our budget we implemented only 18% of the 100% budget. So,
authorities in Western Bahr Ghazal launched the issuance of ID cards for government school teachers. The event, under the theme "Together to Fight Corruption and Create the Best Education in the State," is meant for identification purposes, grant teachers access to school facilities, verified employment, data collection, and record keeping. Addressing the occasion, a representative of the State Ministry of Education and Instruction, Juma Suleiman Ramadan, says that the ministry has taken important steps to issue identification document to boost teachers' morale and enhance education system. The chairperson of the State's Teachers Union, Santo Mawien Majuk, confirms that the identification cards will be issued to more than 1,000 government school teachers in Western Bahr Ghazal State.
نحن وزارتين اتخذوا واحنا سجود له وحاولنا كمان نجيب وراء شجعناه علينا قلنا له واسع له كمان عشان كلام يد وما هيجي انا دايما كل الحين في الفتره ده نقول على عهد الفائده نعتبرها غلط في تصرفنا في المدارس ما قدرنا نيجي مدرسه في تصرفنا مع ادارات ما قدرنا نبيع كلمات حتى لازم نمشي بطريقه صحيحه. سنه لازم مستوى التعليم يكون افضل.
117 teachers active in the field. To me,
It's not policy that we put in place by you and your board of directors to make sure that this money, which is going to allow people to be taken back, so that we improve the welfare of these teachers who are suffering on the ground. This money can be used for adding on top salary of these teachers.
And that story brings us to the end of our news tonight. We thank you for joining us. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the programs coming up. On behalf of the team, I am Akuchi Maker, and bye-bye for now.
Attention all Fulla alumni. Get ready for a historic and unforgettable event. The Fulla Alumni Network, FAN, will proudly host the 3rd edition of the Fulla Senior Secondary School Alumni Gathering on the 5th of November, 2025. This grand occasion will mark another milestone in the legacy of Fulla Senior Secondary School, located in Nimule, Eastern Equatoria State, which first opened its doors on 30th of June,